Welcome here for Punch Out Boxing. I'm delighted to be here with Mike Francis, all the way from Australia, for, is it fair to say, the biggest boxing event ever?
Oh, definitely the biggest boxing event ever. And I've never seen a boxing event like this in my time, and I've been around for a whole lot of time, but this is amazing. And we're so grateful that we get the opportunity to put Jai on this card. And we had the call probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. We was talk about this card being put together, but there's no way in our wildest dreams that we actually thought this card would come together um, with all the promoters as well. So it's great to see.
Could you tell us how it came about? Did the Saudi General Sports Authority contact yourself, or through Eddie, or how did it come about?
Yeah, look, when we were over in Cancun with Justice's fight recently, I had a call from Spencer Brown, just trying to see whether there was any interest in Jai being on that particular card. And at first, it was sort of just an idea, and I said absolutely. Like Jai's ready to go, and he pulled up pretty good after his last fight. He went 4 rounds, and I said he's healthy, so put something in front of us, and we're happy to go for it. So I spoke to Jai. Jai jumped at the opportunity when I told him where it was at and what sort of a card it was going to be. And like Jai just wants to be busy. Like he's been out of the ring for quite a while, especially with his jaw from the first fight, his first world title fight. But uh, Jai's ready to go. He's raring to go, and we're just grateful.
Not quite Gosford Stadium, which I know was his first choice, but I guess for the purses the Saudis are offering, he'll forego that.
Yeah, look, Gosford's a dream of Jai's, and that's something that we've always worked towards. And one day it'll happen. But we've got to obviously take fights that make sense. And at the moment, the Saudis are very keen for boxing. They want to own boxing, so why not be a part of the biggest show in the world?
Absolutely. What's happened with the IBF mandatory? Did the Saudis pull some strings with the IBF, or did you just get this in before they could call for the purse bids?
No, no. Look, Brutus is our mandatory. Like Maris Brutus is the fight that Jai wants, and as Jai, he wants to get his revenge on Jai. It's a fight that makes sense, but unfortunately, the first bid is actually to be read on the 21st of this month. But however, um, Maris is injured at the moment, and so we're going to take another exception. And this young kid Zorro, he's going to take up the fight. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work because he's not in the top 15 at the moment. But I hear that he's going to go inside the top 15 to make that fight work.
Okay, that's interesting. So, yeah, obviously it's a quick turnaround. At what point was Ellis put to you as the opponent?
Probably about 3 days ago. So it was pretty fast because actually I got hold of Chris Meyer, that's Brutus's manager, and I asked him was he available, and he said he wouldn't be right to fight in December, and he's happy to step aside and give Jai the opportunity to take this fight. So credit to them, their professionalism. We appreciate the fact that they've done this, and they've done it before, and we've done it for them. So you know, it's good to see they're not stepping in Jai's way.
You seen much of Ellis? Obviously, stylistically, totally different to Jordan. The smaller, more mobile cruiserweight.
No, we haven't seen anything of him at the moment, but I'm sure that once we get back to Australia, Jai and the team will start studying his style. But look, I said this is another great opportunity for Jai to actually fight against another Englishman, build his profile here in the UK. Because at the end of the day, the cruiserweight division in the UK is pretty hot, and what another fantastic opponent. And I think it's going to be the same sort of result. Jai's going to obviously relish with these big guys and undefeated guys. So Jai's, I can't say too much, but I think Jai will probably start within 3 rounds this time.
Is it better? Do you think that most cruiserweights in the world, Jai will get them out there early?
Yeah, look, Jai's last fight, he's just changed his style. He usually measures for the first 1 or 2 rounds, but this particular new style he has, he's just much more aggressive and he just wants to get people out there early. So I can't see many cruiserweights in the world, getting past 8 rounds to this guy. Is it out?
I mean, when I spoke to Jai last time, obviously he's not a man who cares much for the politics, rightfully. That's your unenviable job. Um, just want to know, 'cause we had Richard RIAPORHE come out on Sky Sports recently talking about the debacle of that failed first bid, or the first bid that never happened. I mean, he didn't really elaborate. Are you able to tell us the timeline of how that went down?
Oh, look, yeah. All I was saying is 3 hours before the first bid was supposed to be read, he pulled out. So I don't understand why he would have done that. What a wasted opportunity. Like, and, like these kids, they work their asses off their whole careers to get this shot, and then to be getting so close to an opportunity, then having the promoter pull out. I just don't understand it. I think it's all political. It's like we we had nothing to do with that. Like we were ready to fight, Richard, but unfortunately, uh, Richard needs to take it up with his promoter. That's at the end of the day, he needs to take it up with his promoter and hold him accountable.
I mean, since you've joined up with Matchroom, I guess you're indirectly getting sucked into some of the politics of the nasty politics of British promotional, rivalries. Between you and Eddie, did you discuss that actually this was a stunt pulled by his promoter to mess up Eddie's plans and DAZN's plans?
Oh, look, I just think that Richard's promoter was worried about Jai fighting on a matchroom card. That's the issue. Like it's at the end of the day, I suppose it's a pissing competition, amongst promoters. And at the end of the day, if they're the ones that got in our way for an exception earlier. So we tried to get an exception for the Jordan Thompson fight before Richie Reactball. They stood in our way and they jumped up and down and no, that's got to go straight in the Reactball fight, and we end up fighting you know Thompson anyway. So they're just time wasters, and I think they I don't know. Look. I'll be honest, mate. I don't really have a lot to do with them.
I mean, you did mention the cruiserweight division's hot in the UK, and it is. A lot of them are with Boxer. As far as you're concerned, you're not going to want to do business with them again, I presume.
Oh, look, for the sake of the fighters, we'll do business for anybody. And as promoters, you've got to put your differences aside to make these fights work. But like they don't make it easy, that's for sure.
Are there no rules in place that if if someone pulls a stunt like that, I mean, like you said, wait down to the wire and then pull out of the first bid so that all the dates and everything are messed up? I mean, surely there should be rules about not letting people like that bid.
Well, the actual fighters, they're the ones that take the full brunt of the IBF or whatever sanctioning bodies it may be. If you have a look when Masternak pulled out, he got pulled from the rankings altogether. Richard's I think he got dropped to number 12 with the IBF, and at the age of 33, I think he is. Like, there's a lot of work to get back there, and time is not on their side.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a point of contention for the fans here in the UK ever since, because it's since turned out the Gullimirian fight didn't happen either because of a different promotional outfit. So, well, good luck to him. As for Justice, go on to him. Some more positive. One of the most talented young heavyweights. Obviously, today we just saw a whole crop of heavyweights. Some of them coming to the end of their sort of reign, if you like. Justice, one of the guys for the future. Already ranked pretty high though after just 8 fights. But you can take your time with him. What sort of route have you got in mind for him?
Yeah, look, Justice is now 8-0, which is exciting. He's only 24. If you have a look at the top 100 best heavyweights in the world in box rec, like I think there's probably only another, there's probably another half a dozen kids that are under 30. So he's ranked. Justice is ranked inside the top 15 of the 4 major sanctioning bodies, which is really exciting. After that last win, like a lot of people said it was crazy for Justice for being out of the ring so long to go straight into a fight like that against the Beatty, 20-1. Like make no mistake, the Beatty's world class, and He is a big cruiserweight. Like I think he got in the ring about it was about 98 kilos. So Justice came down in weight to 107 kilos, and the plan was to box and be smart. And because Justice has been out of the ring for so long, he needed to just get the rounds and box, and that's what he did. So a lot of people talk about his power, and they question that Justice should have got him out of there. But mate, a boxer against a boxer, you don't do nothing silly and be patient, and he won every round, no doubt. So look, there's big things to come for Justice. I think I spoke to Eddie. We're probably talking about January having him back in the ring. So hopefully we see him back soon.
Yeah, I mean, because of his youth, there's no rush. But as you mentioned there, the size factor. When I spoke to Justice, I mentioned this. Maybe the heavyweight division's gonna do a 180. That the obsession with the so-called super heavyweights. Maybe that corner's turned, and we've seen with Usyk what small heavyweights can do. Do you think also the age factor? I mean, the past decade, heavyweights peaked in their 30s. Now we've got a lot of youngsters coming through. I mean, over here we've got a kid called Moses Atulma, considered one of the most prodigious talents at heavyweight we've ever had. He's only 18, um, aiming for Mike Tyson's record. Could we see younger, smaller heavyweights, a new era?
I think so. I think if you look at like other sports, the way they've evolved and things change all the time. But I feel as though the smaller heavyweights are more explosive. They're obviously harder to hit, and they move better. And these big guys are just too slow. And I don't think you know I don't think the big guys, if they tag you, you're going to get knocked out. That's the reality. But look, Justice is you know I think he's going to stay at about 107 now moving forward, and he'll develop his power when he gets a little bit older. As I said, he's only 24, and you know, you know, I, we just can't wait. It's going to be exciting.
Yes, indeed. Great time for Aussie boxing. Can you tell us about a couple of the other fighters who you got on your roster?
I've got Connor Wallace. We got a show actually on the 20th of December in Brisbane. Connor Wallace will be headlining that. That'll be on the Zone. That's really exciting. Like Connor's again, he's only young. He's 27, and he's ranked inside three of the four major sanctioning bodies, which is as a light heavyweight. So he's a massive talent. He's getting stronger and stronger in the gym. And the thing about Connor, he's only had two good hands for the last two fights. And before that, like Jai, he's had hand injuries and problems. So it's exciting. And he sort of turned the corner. And there's big things to come for Connor Wallace. And I was actually trying to get him on this card, and I've pushed him a bit, but obviously it's really hard and it's fairly full. So maybe next year we'll get the opportunity to come to the UK and hopefully get on one of the cards over here.
Do you think you need to try and get your fighters either across the Pacific to America or over here? Because Oz is a bit isolated down there. Obviously, not as big a pool of fighters, to get sparring in, that sort of thing. Obviously, next door is Asia, but most of the fighters are like flyweights and bantamweights. So for your bigger sort of weight class fighters, do they need to travel?
Yeah, I think so. Look, the biggest issue that we have in Australia with the bigger guys is sparring, and with training camps and that, we've got to bring them in, and we've brought guys in from all around Europe, and you bring them over and they last, one or two training sessions and they want to fly home, and it's hard. So I think that we have to be over here a lot more often, fighting over here, training over here, and I think the future for Jai and Justice is probably the UK.
Jai won't be happy to hear that. He really wants that Gosford Stadium. I took the liberty of looking the stadium up. It's the one that overlooks the bay.
Yeah, it is. It's right on the water, and look, it's not that old. It's a spectacular looking stadium. Look, on the central coast of New South Wales, Jai is very very popular, and he probably would sell that out. However, stadium fights are expensive, and you know, I hope we hope it happens one day. Fingers crossed, but let's see what Eddie comes up with.
I mean, I know he wants the WBO belt. Chris Smith's defending that against Masternak in December. Um, Again, how likely in terms of the politics of it could that be made? Would you most likely have to go to Bournemouth to get that?
Yeah, look, Jai fight on the moon for that belt. I don't think it matters if it's at Bournemouth or wherever. Yeah, politics is going to be a tough one with this particular belt. It's a belt that Jai wants and he's always wanted. It's close to his heart and his family's heart. But look, I don't think there is any cruiserweights out there that are going to put their hand up to fight Jaiopetaia. And I'm sure a lot of these other world champions will hide behind the fact that there's politics or the promoters can't decide on venues, money, whatever. But you know, the truth of the matter is that Jaiopetaia is the baddest cruiserweight in the world, and he does mean business, and whoever stands in front of him whenever he fights is going to wear the full brunt of Jai. And look, I don't think anyone's going to put their hand up and say, yeah, come and take my belt, because that's what he's going to do. He's just going to take their belts and all the money in the world for all these kids, how hard they've worked over the years. They don't want to give their belt up to a kid from Australia. So let's just wait and see. But look, fingers crossed, it'd be good if we can make that fight happen. Eddie's pretty keen on making that fight happen as well. So let's just see.
Indeed, let's see. Who knows? Maybe your Saudi hosts on the 23rd will make someone an offer they can't refuse.
I hope so. I think the next fight's going to be Brutus. So it'll be obviously at Zorro and then into the Brutus fight. But then after that, it'll probably be hopefully the WBO. We just have to wait and see. But the more and more Jai fights, the more and more popular he's becoming in the UK. So therefore, they will be big money fights, and I hope there's enough money in the loot to pay these other champions off and give that Jai that opportunity to unify the titles. That's his plan.
Indeed, everyone wants their retirement plan. All right, Mike. Well, absolute pleasure catching up with you finally, face to face. Am I how you imagine I'd look?
You're better looking than I expected.
So are you. Thank you, Mike. We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for your time.